All right, as you see, y'all Negroes got too much estrogen. All right, so let's fix that problem because a lot of you guys don't know that body fat goes hand in hand with having too much estrogen. So a lot of the side effects that you guys have is like, oh, I feel like I have low test, or I don't know, I'm just not ambitious, I'm not dedicated, I'm not locked in. A lot of that shit is because you have excess fat. That's why I say everything starts like life starts after body gain because your mind is gonna change, your energy is gonna change. But it's like part of you becoming a different person is you gaining confidence, but the other part is just the physical, right? Because you are inflamed, you do feel like shit, but that is because you're eating like shit and you have too much body fat. Like those go hand in hand. Like I need you guys to have the feeling of being, you know, out of shape, not having any options, just being depressed and be like, man, is this life, bro? This is ass, and feeling self conscious when you're going out, and then have a juxtaposition to when you are, or have a situation where it's juxtaposed, where you literally are lean as shit, you're in the sunlight with your boys, everyone's lean, you have hella options, you feel me? People are coming up to you and being like, oh my God, like you look amazing, this is that. Girls are asking for your Instagram and shit like that. You guys need to see both those sides. I've seen both those sides. And obviously, a lot of the confidence comes from you keeping commitments to yourself, but you have more energy, and you have more energy when you have less fat on you. You're not inflamed 24/7. You don't have headaches 24/7. You don't have low energy 24/7. Like that is what happens when you're actually in shape. Your skin is clear as shit. You look like you are like to people are gonna be like, yo, you're a Greek god or some shit like that because you just look different. That's how it's gonna be. All right, here's why being lean matters. Testosterone is the master male hormone. It impacts fat loss, muscle gain, drive, focus, and attraction. All right, specifically drive. Like your drive is just gonna be better. All right, of course, sex drive, but like your ambition is gonna be better as well. So if you feel like, dang man, I don't do what I say I'm gonna do, and you're not assertive, it's because your test is low because you have excess body fat. All right, direct correlation. It's not rocket science. They said people's tests used to be higher in 1950s, and guess what? I know they say the foods are different now. Had the food. It's the body fat percentages are way fucking higher, bro. Because people are just eating for comfort or eating when they're bored. All right. Now, every single person can control what they eat. All right. If you here's the thing. Here's the kicker. All right. Here's the real kicker. Worst case scenario, you take a multivitamin, you take vitamin D3. That's it, right? Maybe some ashwagandha. That's it, right? But realistically, you don't take any of that. You just take a multivitamin, and you eat eggs, you eat chicken, you eat steak, have some butter, you eat some potatoes, have some tuna, and you have like some whole wheat bread. You eat that, you spam that over and over, protein shake, protein bar. You literally spam that over and over, no fruits, no vegetables. You'll still be healthier than most people. All right. And the funny thing is, when someone sees someone eating healthy, they're like, "Where's the fruits? Where's the vegetables?" It's like, nigga, you just ate fried chicken with alcohol, bro. Are you serious right now? You just had a beer and fried chicken. So realistically, right? If you were to eat what I just said, I'd even include any fruits and vegetables. Obviously, you want to add fruits and vegetables. I'd even include that shit. If you just eat protein bars, protein shakes, chicken, potatoes, rice, simple shit like that, you'd be lean, you'd be healthy, your test would be higher than it is now. All right, very simple. And if everyone ate like that, then people wouldn't be 40, 30, 20% body fat and their test would be higher. All right, low test is going to make it harder to lose fat, easier to gain fat, obviously. Now, another reason this is important because there's an agenda to feminize men. Like I said in the other video, most men are struggling with confidence, right? Because they're not in their best self, right? People are telling them, like single moms and like the school is telling them, no, don't do that, cry and be emotional, and then they get bad results in the real world, and they're like, well, I'm doing everything they said, but they feel misaligned anyways, right? Attraction, women are going to be attracted to masculine men, so the fact that they're telling you guys to feminize yourselves. It's just gonna make you unattractive, and you're gonna be depressed. You're gonna be like, everyone hates me. I'm doing everything they said and getting no results. Yeah, that is frustrating if you do everything, everything people tell you to, and you don't get results. But that's why you got to realize, like, oh, okay, well, this shit doesn't fucking work. All right, simple. And of course, the modern confidence crisis. A lot of men are offing themselves. A lot of men are giving up without trying. Like I always say, man, average body fat is 28%, and a lot of you guys, because of social media, think it's, oh, that's not true. You guys have literally not even you guys. I have been seeing these same. All right, and half of them hopped on gear over the years, and the other half like fell off or whatever. But I've been seeing these same 100 to 200 people, and this Earth has 8 billion people on it. I've been seeing the same 100 to 200 people being lean year round during that time. Obviously, everyone doesn't post on social media, and you go to gym, you'll see some lean people. But there's literally like 200 people that dominate the For You page and the Explore page. Like that's it. You see the same motherfuckers. All right. I already know just based on my insights. I've been on the Explore page for the past 8 years. Right? My friends have been on the Explore page for the past 8 years. The same motherfuckers over and over and over again. So you're like, oh, everyone's lean. You can scroll up and see a bunch of lean people, but you might, if you see 10 lean people in a row that you haven't seen in real life, you're like, oh my God, everyone's lean. That's just 10 people. There's 8 billion people on Earth. All right? Simple. All right, now the basics of testosterone, obviously, they're made in the testes from cholesterol, which is why healthy cholesterols are important, which is why the government's always saying stay away from steak and butter and eggs, because, like I said, the agenda to feminize men. All right, it peaks in your 20s, declines 1% per year after 30, but you can still, I mean, 1% if you're at like 1,000, because you optimize it, you'll be fine. All right. But I also know most of the dudes with the best physiques, they're always like in their mid 30s, late 30s, because they've built up so much muscle maturity over the years and they're locked in on their nutrition, right? And a lot of people are like 28 or like 34, and they're like, "Oh my God, I need TRT," right? 1%. Let's say your testosterone was, let's say your testosterone is actually maxed out at like 1,100, and you lose 1% a year, so it's around 10% per year for starting at like 30. That means by 40, you'll still have 900, which will be higher than most people. But realistically, it still might be higher than that, right? Because this is just averages. All right. Lifestyle and fat percentage massively are going to impact that. Obviously, the higher your body fat percentage, the more estrogen you have, right? The less testosterone you have. Very, very simple shit. All right. Now, what the hell happens when test is low? Well, when test is low, you become one of the no profile picture commenters. All right, which means what? You're irritable, you're depressed, right? You're negative, you hate yourself, you hate your life. You hate yourself so much that you don't have a profile picture of yourself because you're so ashamed of yourself because you have a fat face, right? And nobody likes you. You have decreased libido, you have erectile dysfunction. You're going to lose your virginity, but then, you had erectile dysfunction. The chick was like, the fuck's wrong with you, right? Loss of muscle mass, loss of strength, higher body fat percentage, especially belly fat and visceral fat, of course, weaker bones, fracture risk. They're literally just calling you like a baby or a bitch. That's basically what it is when you have low test. That's why nobody respects you, because you're not taking care of yourself, but you also are a liability. Like, all of this shit sounds like a liability, and like, you can't have all of this and not be depressed. All right, like, if you have all of this and you like, if you're 30% body fat, you have all this going on and you're not depressed, you're just the happiest motherfucker alive. All right, you're literally just the happiest nigga of all time. And for all of you guys that said, "Oh my God, it's not healthy to always be lean," first of all, bro, like, the more fat you have, the more your test is going to be converted to estrogen. All right, you're going to have higher inflammation. You're going to have lower free test. All right, there's literally no benefits to having lower free test. There's no benefits to being above 20% body fat, except you get to eat what you want to when you feel like it, and you get to give into emotions. Like, that's all it is. So it's like a lot of people who say that shit, they just want to be bitches. Well, I have a family now, so you eat more. Nigga, take care of your fucking kid, bro. Like, that doesn't make any sense. You have a family, so you're going to eat more. I don't care if you work out less because you have a family. That doesn't mean you eat more. All right. And by the way, my mentors and the people who inspire me most, guess what? They always have kids. Always. They always have kids, and they're being a role model for their kids every single time. And no, they're not single dads. They have a wife as well. All right. Simple, simple, simple. It's literally what you prioritize. All right. So higher testosterone, you're gonna have less estrogen conversion, which means you're gonna have more testosterone. That's awesome. All right. Body fat, especially visceral belly fat, is gonna be lower. All right. Lower inflammation, which I said, listen. For some reason, people don't know that you have more inflammation when you're, like I said, obesity means inflammation. That's why you have so many issues. All right. So you're going to have lower inflammation. All right. Lower inflammation. That's exactly what you want. All right. And then also realize that when you are obese, so if you're watching this and you're obese, chronic inflammation is going to suppress testosterone production. All right. Like, I tell you guys to get lean, and you guys think, oh, okay, it's all looks, it's all for chicks. It's like, nah, bro. Most of this shit is actually just to make your life better overall. All right. Leaner men are going to handle carbs better with less insulin resistance, which is why when you, like I said, when you get lean and a lot of you guys are scared of carbs because you were super fat when and you had insulin resistance when you're eating carbs and getting even fatter, right? And then you cut out carbs or cut carbs back a lot, and then you get leaner. When you're lean, you can eat a fuckload of carbs, bro. I'm not even kidding, bro. If I ever cheat day, I can knock out 1,000 grams of carbs. I'm not gaining any fat. It's not happening. I can knock out 1,000 carbs pretty fucking easily because I rarely eat 1,000 carbs, and I have a lot of muscle, and low fat, and my muscles need the fucking, the carbs. But I usually keep my calories pretty low. Stable blood sugar and lower insulin resistance are strongly tied to testosterone as well. All right. Improve sleep. A lot of you guys have sleep apnea and all this other shit, and it's because you have too much body fat. All right, that simple. All right, you have poor sleep. You don't get full hours of sleep. You know, like a full 8 hours. So then you're gonna have less testosterone because deep sleep is gonna be stronger testosterone production. All right, overweight men are gonna have higher risk of sleep apnea and poor sleep quality, like I just said. All right, obesity is gonna raise the sex hormone, binding hormone, which binds testosterone and makes it less available. All right, so far all of this stuff goes back to my body game motivation video where I said there's no benefits to being above 20% body fat because I don't know what it was. There was a video I made before then. It was every man should get to 10% body fat once. Listen, if you maintain 12 to 15 year round, that's cool. Especially with a lot of muscle, that shit looks you're gonna look crazy everywhere you go. You're gonna have to really go to somewhere where lean niggas are to look, to look not lean, but like 12 to 15% with a decent amount of muscle. You're like if you've been lifting for 5 years consistently, you got 12 to 15%. You're gonna look solid, right? But I said everyone should get 10% at least once, and you can maintain 10%. You can maintain 10%, 8% if you want, right? I said that, and everyone was getting mad, like, nah, bro, it's healthier to be 20%. Well, no, the fuck is not, bro. Like that's the dumbest shit ever. You 20%, you're gonna have insulin resistance, all right, and that's gonna lead to type 2 diabetes. You'll be like, well, what's going on? I thought I was doing okay. And the same calories you're eating at 20%, over time, since you have insulin resistance, those calories will now start to make you gain even more fat. Then you'll be at 22%. Simple shit. All right. So, ideal body fat percentages. You can't be 10% year round. It's not healthy. Shut your bitch ass up. All right. A lot of you guys say that shit's unhealthy. Shut your bitch ass up. All right. That's a typo. Should say unhealthy. But anyways, athletic peak is gonna be 8 to 12%. Strongest testosterone levels, best muscle to fat ratio. All right. But if you go below 8%, like you get that bodybuilding shit, that's when you feel like ass and you feel like shit, and your test will drop again. All right. So the thing is, when you're getting down to these levels for the first time, yeah, since you're in a cut and you're putting your body under stress, you'll kind of feel like shit. Throwing some refeed days, throwing some maintenance days, maybe take a maintenance week, but um, keep it pushing. Make sure you keep your fats high. And if you have to, like I said, if you've been cutting for a long time, then yeah, throwing those maintenance days and shit like that. If you've been cutting for a long time, but no, getting to this range is still where you want to be. And then of course this is very good too. Like I said, 12 to 15, that's solid. And then this is borderline risky, 15 to 20%. But yeah, 20 plus percent significant drop in tests, estrogen dominance, right? Metabolic issues, lower libido, lower energy, period. And this is where most people are. That's just literally where most people are. So any male depression, the male loneliness epidemic, all those motherfuckers, all the black pill people, they're all above 20% body fat. All right, it is what it is. You're not like you don't even you don't like you really everything opens up at these ranges. Like everything opens up here because you're doing what you need to do. You're keeping commitments to yourself. You feel amazing. You got more confidence than you ever had before, right? And you actually have shit to do on your schedule because you're getting lean. Like you have no structure when you're not lean. You just eat whatever, you do whatever. You're like, it's my off day. What do I do? I'll just order DoorDash and play Skyrim. Like you just do goofy shit. You have no fucking structure, no ambition, right? And then you expect chicks to just come to your door and like knock on your door and like just pull up and be like, I love you for you. Who the fuck are you, bro? You're someone who's 20 plus percent body fat. You eat like shit, and you want respect. Doesn't make any sense. What have you done to earn respect? Nothing. You completed Skyrim. You're not even the best player in your fucking state. All right. So the mental differences: more confidence, more energy, more motivated, more assertive, and all of these things are going to make you more respected by everybody around you, and obviously more attractive to a woman, obviously, because this is all opposite of feminine energy right here, right? Like being more assertive, you're gonna be like, nah, this is what I want, this is what I want. You're gonna know what you want, you're gonna go after it. That's always gonna be more attractive, right? Increased libido, flirting, social dominance, like I said, mental clarity. You're gonna be more likely to make those bold decisions. Like a lot of you guys are like, dang, man, listen, majority of you guys have hella potential. That's why I be on your asses, because y'all have way more potential than I have, obviously. But I just yap more, and I realize I'm just maximizing my potential, and it's not my potential is not that high, but I'm maximizing it, right? A lot of you guys have a lot of potential, but you don't even minimize it. You literally just like go in the opposite. You're maximizing your unpotential. You're going so far in the opposite direction you have no idea, right? And that all starts with the body fat. Like you guys are like, yeah, I just don't have lean face genetics. I just have bad face genetics, and you're 28% body fat, the average, and you want to have a good face. That makes no fucking sense. Do you see male models with 28% body fat? No, they're usually like literally between like 6 and 10. Like the high fashion motherfuckers have like zero muscle, zero fat. They're like 0% body fat, but there's 0% muscle. They're just like, yeah. So That's number one. And then, like I said, putting on some muscle, nothing gives you more confidence than that shit. So get in the fucking gym, man. Yeah, boys need to lock in. All right, physical differences, obviously denser muscle. Listen, the blurry pictures always come out better for some reason. Like look at the ab definition. Shit's fucking crazy. All right, denser muscle. And I got to go back to this gym when I slide to the States because this is, Planet Fitness is the greatest lighting of all time. All right. Now, denser muscle, more pronounced jawline. Like I said, what is more listen, the most attractive thing to a woman. Just imagine you walking, you feel me, you're walking somewhere and they see your jawline and they're like, yo, I haven't seen a jawline like that fucking all day. You know what I mean? Because like I said earlier, guys who are lean usually have a purpose. They're usually running businesses or working or leveling up in their career. They're very intentional with everything they do. So when they go to run an errand, they run an errand, right? But out of shape dudes are just literally sitting around, looking for something to do or looking for, oh, let me follow that person. They're out of shape, right? So when you're in shape and you do a basic ass errand, chicks are gonna be like, yo, what is he doing here? I haven't seen him before. They're gonna see the jawline, they're gonna see the denser muscle, the shoulder waist ratio, right? And they're gonna feel your energy, your aura. Now, the long term drawbacks of low T plus high fat. All right. Increased risk of diabetes. You're pretty much guaranteed to get that shit. All right. You're going to guarantee you have type 2 diabetes. So I even know some people who they had type 2 diabetes and they just, they were just addicted to grabbing candies and making an excuse and they never made a change and they still have that shit. It's going to turn into kidney disease pretty soon, then dialysis. But hey, I can't make people care. They just didn't care. They're just like, no, but like, what can I do to change it? I'm like, what are you talking about, you fat fuck? Stop eating that shit. That's all you have to do. Stop eating the candy and shit. Oh, you don't want to do that? Then shut the fuck up. Like, it's that simple. Why are you asking what to do if you're not doing the only thing you have to do? To stop eating candy, let me give you guys a secret, all right, that a lot of people don't seem to know. If you want to get lean and you're currently eating like shit, stop eating the shit that you're currently eating and eat what lean people eat. That's the secret. That's probably the craziest thing you ever heard. Like I know that's the greatest game you've ever heard. That's how fucking simple it is. People are always like, "Dang man, I just don't know what to do." Yes, you do. You're not exercising right now, and you're currently eating Ben and Jerry's and Chick-fil-A every single day. You know not to do that. You see lean people, what do they eat? Not Ben and Jerry's, not Chick. They don't even know where Chick-fil-A is. All right, they don't know where the nearest Chick-fil-A is. You're gonna have erectile dysfunction, like I said, lower fertility, lower quality of life, weaker bones, all that shit. Right? All of this, by the way, is like if a chick was being completely objective and not an emotional creature, she would still stay away from this shit. You feel me? She still stay away from this shit because erectile dysfunction, lower fertility, you're gonna give weak offspring, right? Or you might die of heart disease while you guys are raising a kid or some shit. You might die of a heart attack or something because you didn't have healthy habits. Signs of low T, the belly, bro. That's really all you need. Like honestly, like people don't respect people with low T. It's just how it is, right? Even if you're like, no, we're an all-inclusive place, everyone still inherently disrespects a fat person. All right, so you're gonna have low libido. And by the way, that's why when someone who's out of shape or who has low T or feels like a loser when they play a video game, they pick like the high T guy. Just like in Jumanji, right? When what's his name was Dr. Bravestone in the game, he was the Rock in the game, Dr. Bravestone. He didn't want to leave the game at the end because he was swole and he had muscle and he was respected because he was swole and he had muscle, right? He was on body game, so he was respected. He didn't want to go back to his old life where he was just a out of shape loser. I mean, he was skinny, but still he was an out of shape loser that no one respected because he was out of shape and he didn't have high testosterone. All right. So yeah, anyways, mood changes, brain fog, decreased bone density, sleep issues, reduced facial and body hair. Same simple shit. All right, now when you got high tests, you can feel better. But here are some high test supplements and nutrition. But I'm gonna get into the nutrition first because I know all of your asses are gonna be like, "Oh my god, the supplements, it's the secret. It's a supplement, nigga. It's not the whole thing." Now you can take these to help, but this shit isn't outdoing this, and it's not even close. This shit is not outdoing this. If you are a lazy mofo like me, you're gonna avoid ultra processed foods and alcohol, right? Now you're gonna have 3 glasses of wine, a year, 8 glasses of wine a year, some shit like that. Ultra processed foods, you can have a cheat day when you're lean every once in a while, but you gotta be lean. You gotta be lean. You gotta be around 10% body fat. You don't have a cheat day at 25%. You already had enough cheat days to fucking get there. All right. So if you want to maximize your test, eat more butter, eggs, steak, eat more protein, right? Get to a low body fat percentage. If you really have any deficiencies, you can take a multivitamin, right? Ashwagandha will help you with reducing cortisol, which means more free tests, right? I don't take creatine, but creatine helps. Omega 3s, healthy fats. Yohimbine helps with test, libido a little bit. Magnesium's good for you, magnesium glycinate. Zinc is good for testosterone support as well. Vitamin D is one of the keys for test support. If you get good sunlight and you eat eggs and you have good like, uptake or whatever, you'll be fine, to be honest. Now, how women perceive it, all right? So, when you have high body fat, subconscious signals, lower fertility, like I said, lower discipline, less attractiveness, all right? My issue is, matter of fact, one of the craziest things I've ever seen. A lot of people get mad at like women's standards and stuff. I've actually lately been getting mad at men's standards because a dude will be like, "Yeah, I deserve like a virgin," and like these girls aren't it, and I'm just looking at them. I'm like, bro, you are literally like zero muscle, like 30% body fat, making 30K a year because you're not ambitious, not because like you work your ass off, because you're not ambitious, make 30K a year, and you're just like not trying to elevate in any area. You're a virgin or whatever. Like you're just not. No shoulder waist ratio, obviously, because you're 30% body fat. You don't love yourself. You don't respect yourself, and your physique's a representation of that. When you're lean, you're gonna have strong visual signals of fertility, discipline, self care, masculinity, jawline, muscle tone, posture, energy, all that shit, bro. Higher status and health. Like you can literally get no huzz. You can get no huzz, right? You can have no huzz, right? You can be a virgin or whatever, but you get on body game. You got a good shoulder waist ratio, and you're semen retaining, and a chick sees you, she's gonna try to take your virginity, bro. I swear to God, bro. Like you're just gonna look more attractive, more confident because if you go somewhere and let's say you go somewhere, you're standing erect, you have a good jawline, you're in shape, good shoulder waist ratio, right? You got a clean cut, your face isn't disheveled, you either got a lined up beard or you got no facial hair, or everything's just clean in the face, right? You look presentable. You're gonna stand out pretty much everywhere you go. You're just gonna stand out. All right. Now people wear nice shit. People wear nice shit. People got money, but no one can rent a good physique, so that shit's more rare. All right. Now, this is just one of my TikToks. Cause my other TikTok I had deleted it because it was going too crazy. So I got my main TikTok, and then this is my experimental TikTok. But I had a third one. That shit was going so crazy. I was like, yo, I don't have time for this. I don't got time for this shit because I'm not trying to have a rotation of like 10 plus chicks or some crazy shit. I don't want. I really don't have time for that shit. All right. But the other one was going crazy. It was like I would post a video, obviously because I'm lean and people don't see lean people, you know, you listen, literally, if you're out of shape and you post a video of you taking your shirt off, that's sexual harassment. You're gonna get flagged and reported. If you're in good shape and you take your shirt off and you're flexing, you're like, oh, okay, I made a transformation. That's thirst trapping, all right, basically, because you're in shape, right? And people are gonna be like, oh my god, post more of this, and all the chicks are gonna be in your DM and shit, especially if you got abs. That shit's rare, all right. Just have abs and see a chick in person, they're gonna be feeling on you like, what the fuck? And they will tell you like, oh yeah, yeah, I haven't dated someone like this. You feel me? Like it's not happening unless they dated some college football players or some athletes or some shit like that. But especially at this age though, like if you get past 20, you get past 25. I mean, that's when the dudes really start just leading with the money, man. Because everyone's out of shape after 25. Like, surprisingly, that sounds pretty young. It is pretty young, but most people just get out of shape after that. All my friends, once we hit 23, all my friends were cooked. All right, they're all fucking cooked. Well, not my friends, my dudes I went to high school with, that acquaintances on Facebook. I was like, yo, these niggas are getting big as. Anyways, all right. Proof of how women respond. Obviously, the DMs and shit like that. I mean, there's like thousands of DMs. It doesn't really matter. It's literally just what happens. Like everything. People say like, oh my god, like people will say that lean people like you're lucky. It's like nigga, I put the work in every fucking day. Like everyone who's lean puts the work in every day. They make different choices than you make, so there's no luck. All right, like I said, a lot of you guys, if you got lean, because a lot of you guys are way taller than me. You got better frames than me and shit like that. Especially the people I've talked to on the phone, like or Zoom calls. Most of y'all got better frames than me. Y'all just don't lock the fuck in. Like I said, more potential than I do. And you don't really know how you look until you get lean. Because you're gonna, it doesn't matter who you are, you're gonna be. Everyone's uglier with the fat face and pimples because of bad nutrition. Everyone's uglier with fat, right? Even tattoos look like shit on fat people, and it looks great on lean people. Think about it. All right, so action plan: live 4 to 5 days a week. All right, 5K to 10K steps. That's optional because you know your boy ain't doing that shit ever. Like this shit's my nutrition's gonna be on point, so I really don't give a fuck. All right, 10 pages a day of some motivational shit. Listen to someone who inspires you, not normal motherfuckers. All right, stop letting people who don't inspire you hold you back. Read over your goals, journal or plan morning plus night, and have your gratitude. Say your gratitudes in the morning and night. Be grateful, be thankful. Don't be an ungrateful asshole. Now, link is in the description if you can't see your Johnson, if you're ready to lose body fat, if you want to get on body game, link is in the description.